Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode. This is actually the second episode of Canadiens Corners. I
Yep.
decided to join this. I decided to join on today with Tayfun. This is usually his thing, but as a Leafs fan and talking all about this Habs for the next hour, hopefully my microphone and headset won't explode and burn up. So we'll have to see what happens.
It shouldn't be that bad.
It'll be interesting. It'll be tough. How are you, man? How are
I'm
things?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything's good. When I was on vacation last week, got back Monday.
Right?
It was great. Feel better.
You-
Feel refreshed. Down in Cuba.
Cuba. There we go. I did the same thing a little earlier. I went to Florida a few weeks before. So I did a little stint down there, about 13, well, 8 days down in Florida, but a 13-day trip. So feel the same way, refreshed, ready to go, and ready to do more episodes. So I'm hoping we'll do more of these. If you want, I can join in, obviously, and get your
hmm
take on the Canadians. This is an all Canadian show. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be talking about prospects, call up situations that are going on. Of course, the deadline that's approaching. Lots of talk about the Habs and what they're going to do. We're going to do a Habs wish list. Well, Typhoon's going to, of course. And apparently, this Retroverse curse, which you need to explain because I have no idea what that means. And at the end, we're going to do some final thoughts. Well, he's going to have his final thoughts, and we'll go from there. So let's bring up, first of all, prospect talk. So tell me what's happening.
Well, currently Montreal has a lot of looks like A prospects and potential future good players, not just draft picks like that used to be. Currently in the NCAA, they have Lane Hudson on defense, who just broke the rookie defenseman points record, and He's also outscored Cale Makar in his rookie season. He's at 30 points. The record was 30, held since 1989 by defenseman in 3 games. He's only played 22.
Wow. Well, you're welcome, by the way.
Um, Sean Farrell.
You're welcome, by the way.
um,
Toronto was part of that deal, but anyway.
Sean Farrell currently in the NCAA is only behind Adam Fantilli in points per game ratio. He's at a 1.6, I believe, and Adam Fantilli's at a 1.8.
Okay.
He was a fourth round draft pick selected by the Habs, and when drafted, Cole Caulfield tweeted "steal."
Yeah, that's what you were
Um,
saying. Yes. Okay.
he lost a year of development because of COVID. He got stuck playing in the USHL for an extra year, so he went to college at 19 instead of 18. But in his first 2 years, he's had been over a point per game from 19 and 20, and that's very rare in NCAA, as young guys usually don't get ice time.
Okay.
He's nominated currently. He's one of the nominations to be nominated for the Hobie Baker.
Going to see if he was Hobie Baker or not.
Lane Hudson is also nominated to be the Hobie Baker.
Oh, that's good. That's what you need. You need
Yeah,
those prospects to start hitting those milestones, right?
we have a goalie, Jacob Dobish in college. He's one of the better goalies in college, but I don't know how it will fare in the NHL because it's a very different amount of games they play.
Did
It's
he was he
much.
drafted? Was he drafted or was he
Yeah,
assigned?
he's drafted. He's a late draft pick.
Okay.
He's currently also nominated for the Hobie Baker. He's been one of the better goalies the last 2 years in the NCAA, which is great for the Habs. They have 3 guys that could potentially be a Hobie Baker finalist.
Well, that's important for Montreal to have. I mean, in your current state of what you are, I mean, you need to have prospects that are going to make an impact, hopefully, with your team.
Well, I'm not saying they're all going to play, but with those kind of pieces, you have it makes a big difference for your future and potential trades to build your team.
Right. Okay.
Now,
Anything else?
with Farrell, they're talking he could turn pro at the end of this season, which I can see it. He has nothing else to prove.
Right.
He's a player I see as a full-time NHLer. We have another kid, Jaden Struble. He's another left-hand defenseman,
Right.
which Montreal have a lot of right now. He's supposed to turn pro, and actually, I see him signing with the Habs as well because his agent used to be Hughes.
Okay. That helps. Any centerman? Do you guys have any centerman prospects at all?
I was getting to that. We have
Okay.
Riley Kidney in the QMJHL.
Love the
He
name.
he was on the Acadie Bathurst to start the season. He had I think it was like 43 points in 33 games, and they were talking about how his point production dipped because he's on a very bad team. He got traded to the Gatineau Olympic the other day, and in 8 games with the Olympic, he has 24 points.
Wow,
Quite,
he's terrible. What a
yep.
terrible deal.
They're saying now he's on a more offensive team. He doesn't have to play defense first, so his offense is going to skyrocket.
Clearly it
Which
has.
It has.
24 points in 8 games? No, he needs to do more. It's terrible. God. Anyway, good.
We
Okay, neat.
we
All
have
right.
Owen Beck, who you probably have heard of. He got the
Oh,
emergency
yes.
call up the
He
other
got
night.
call up recently. Yeah.
Yes, he got an emergency
Defenseman?
call up to play a game. Centerman.
Centerman. Okay, so he is another. Okay. Where did he draft? What was his position?
We got him in the second round, and he was like an early second round, so it was almost like a late first round pick.
Whenever you drafted right near that bottom into the second, I mean, still close. I mean, within a few spots of the first, like that. I mean, I still find it very close. These guys are in the top, 60.
You're in the
something.
you're in the top 100. You're very good.
You should be
Even
good. Yes.
like Riley Kidney is also a second round pick, so
Okay.
he's like
And
a
you know
60
what?
something pick.
Right. And the thing is, as an outsider looking in, the big thing I've always thought of the Habs is always they just, for whatever reason, have a tough time hitting those second, third, and fourth round draft picks. They seem to not be able to get those guys in the past to be more impactful, but hopefully this will change.
I'm hoping
sake.
so.
Yeah, well, it's part of the rebuild, right?
Yes, they have a very different view on the draft, and I don't think they're in win now mode. They're actually looking to build a team.
They're not win now mode. No way at all.
They were kind of in it with Bergevin, but he never actually addressed any problems. He just relied on Carey Price.
Yeah, got to the final, but yes, I know what you're saying.
It took 10 years.
Well, his time has passed. Now it's a different era now. So
yeah. Anyway, we have a kid, a late bloomer kid. We drafted last year. He was like 19. He's 20 now. He's scoring at an ridiculously high rate in the WHL. He's also a centerman, Jared Davidson. He's only behind Bedard for points per game actually, and he's on a powerhouse Seattle team.
Oh, Bedard, the golden kid of this year, right? Everybody wants him. So interesting. Those are the guys you got to watch for, though. Those guys are just below him, right? Like third, fourth, there, fifth. Those guys, they still count.
This draft
is still very, very good.
The top 5 are all franchise players.
Yeah, you were saying once, you told me that this draft is actually just as deep as a Crosby draft.
No, even
deeper.
The
03 draft. Sorry, the 03 draft. Even that's the Getzlaff draft, right?
Yeah,
that was
where you got a franchise player in the 20th pick.
Yeah, like crazy amount of players. But anyway, yes, okay, that's cool. Right on. You have some stuff to look forward to.
Funny little tidbit about Bedard is I was reading a story that their owner is worried about ticket sales because they're selling too many tickets, and he was there's talk about building a new arena. I'm like, slow down, guys. Bedard is gone next year. This problem will be over. The problem is done.
Odds are he's going to be on their NHL squad somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. So the problem of selling out too many tickets will end when he's gone because they're buying to see him. They're not buying to see anybody else. They sold out the Saddle Dome yesterday.
I know. I saw that. That was crazy good.
But it was because Bedard was there, not because the Hitmen were playing in the Saddle Dome.
Yeah, no one cares. Well, not many anyway. Normally, I don't know what their crowd numbers are, but everybody wants to see Bedard, right?
Yes.
So,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, slow down with your wanting to build a new rink. Like, you don't need to.
All right. Well, that's cool. So that's prospect talk. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or is there?
Well, there's Joshua Roy as well. He's a winger. He's looking very, very good. Connor Bedard had nothing but good things to say to him after the World Championships. It would be nice if we could pull off getting Bedard somehow and having those two on the roster at the same time.
Okay. Are these players good-sized players? Is there a kind of a shift in Montreal's building, or is it still that smaller, fast winger centerman type of build?
It's mixed. I'd say it's mixed. Like Struble, the defenseman I mentioned earlier, is a 6'2" defenseman. Lane Hudson's smaller. He's 5'8", but they're saying there's something about him. They said he has a bone disease where he's actually growing 2 years younger than what he is, so he can still stretch to another 4 or 5 inches.
Okay. Well, I mean, he is a very young player. I mean, they're all under 20, so they still have lots of time to grow.
Sean Farrell is like a 5'9" or 5'10" guy. He's small, but he's still very good. I would say, Jared Davidson's a 6-foot player. Riley Kidney's about 5'11", 6 foot.
Okay, so the average, nothing outstanding, but not like a pattern where they're going for 6'3" guys and whatever. They have kind of a little bit of mixture, as you
No,
said. So.
they're mixing it up. Like Joshua Roy 6-1. It's a nice little mix they have of guys. Those are the main. Those are I'd say those are the top A prospects that the Habs have currently, and that's a lot to mention.
Yes, it is. It's quite a bit. So I think what we'll do now is we'll move on to the call-up situation. We'll move off the prospect talk. That's good. Thank you.
So after the final game of the break against the Senators, they sent the Habs sent Alex Belzil and who was it? Alex Belzil, Jesse Ylonen back to the minors.
Ylonen.
Barron was supposed to go down, but they don't want him to. They kept him. He was actually supposed to play in the AHL All-Star game, so he won't be going.
Right.
They've decided to keep Raphael Harvey Pinard up, who has been amazing in his call-up. He's played 7 games. He's got 5 goals.
Does he have anything else? Like I said, what's his plus minus?
+4.
So he's good defensively. So that's a plus. You need that.
He started when he first came up. He started on the 4th line with Belzil and Pizzetta, and that line was just chaos, and it was scoring. And then last game against the Sens, they were losing by a couple. They did a shakeup, put him on the top line with Suzuki because Pitlick wasn't really working out there, and he scored 2 goals besides Suzuki.
Get a good centerman, right? So that helps,
And
right? But good,
he has-
good for him. He
has a great shot.
Needs those goals. Yeah.
I would literally call him the Gallagher 2.0, a much smarter Gallagher who's not going to get himself killed, but very feisty like Gallagher.
Not break my bones all the time, Gallagher.
He keeps himself out of dangerous positions of getting hurt. Let's just
Right.
put it that way. Where Gallagher's a
Okay.
little more reckless and just goes head down and dives in, and he comes out with something broken usually.
Okay. Goaltenders, how are they looking up in Montreal right now? Any call-ups there or anything changing?
We need a goalie. They need a goalie very badly.
Motombo is not the solution, but
he's
the
playing-
solution right now.
Well, if you want a good pick, you go with Montembeault and Allen. That's all I could say.
Okay. Reminds me of the Sparks era.
Yes, yes. We have Caden Primo, but I really think he's done in the organization. I don't
Really? I'm surprised. I thought he would be a hit. I guess he's not. Like, what's his problem? What's the matter with this guy?
He's never been able to get to the next step.
Which is what? Like just being able? Is he like not able to stop anything?
He's
Case? Like I don't know. Like
he can't be a game changer.
Oh, he doesn't have that it factor, as they call it,
No,
or whatever.
Not at all.
He's not like like in Philly, for instance. Carter Hart now is proving to be that goalie that's actually going to help them and take them the next step. Or
it took Carter Hart a long time because they did what they did to Carey Price. They brought an 18-year-old into the NHL.
Right. But he's starting to show his signs,
Yes.
right? But so you guys clearly need someone now. Is there? I know it's call-up talk, but I've just quickly before we go to the deadline stuff. But you think there's going to be another goalie in the wings, like in your system, that's going to be one that you'd be like, wow, this guy really, because Primo was pretty touted as the next guy coming, and clearly it doesn't sound like that's the case.
He looked good, and he doesn't anymore.
That's too bad.
I would say that Hughes is definitely looking for a goalie. There's a lot of speculation of trying to get a goalie right now. I've heard Jasper Wallsted's name. He's a prospect in Minnesota. I've heard Devin Levi out of Buffalo, and I've also heard another goalie out of Buffalo. I can't remember his name, but he's in college, and he said he doesn't want to sign with the Sabres when he's done because he doesn't feel there's a chance for him to play goalie there.
Good. Okay, we have some. Then you have something in the win too. But I still think Montreal is going to either draft a goalie or they're going to go out and buy a goalie.
Yeah, they're going to have to because the only goalies we have in the system that I think have a chance at the NHL are Dobish and Dickow. I don't see them as starters or like game changers.
Okay, that's fair. Time will tell, right? I mean, Montreal will figure that out. But yes,
I could be completely wrong, but
Wow. We don't know, right? You don't have a crystal ball. You can't tell what's going to happen, but just your thoughts, right?
Yes,
and what
exactly.
you're seeing. So, okay, cool. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to the deadline rumors section. This is the fun part. Now we get to play GM. Potential trade bait for the Habs. In my opinion, the Habs are pretty much everybody's for sale. That's my opinion with how you are and what you're doing.
As it should
What do you
be.
think? And what do you think?
I've heard many names. I've heard Edmondson, I've heard Savard, I've heard Dadonov, I've heard Hoffman recently, and Hoffman's name's picking up recently. I've heard Anderson, I've heard Armia. Basically anyone who's over 25, I would say, is available at this point.
Thing too is we both know is that your team is built, as we said, it's rebuilding. So you have assets to move, and you have to move some money. Like as far as I'm concerned, Josh Anderson's one. I'd say
Sean
Edmondson's
Monahan.
2. Edmondson is 2. Monahan is 3. Dadonov is 4. You know,
Yeah,
and that's all they're going to get. And that's all they're going to, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. And
they may take
what I
also
hear,
they may take a bad contract back just to finish the season as well, just to help the
if
other team.
Molson's wanting to do it, sure, I could
Just
see him
just
doing
to help
that
a
too.
team to make a deal work, right? Bring a contract back on a 1 year to end and walk away.
Yeah. Is Josh Anderson, how many years on his contract left?
4 or 5. But
Oh.
I already heard that they rejected an offer that someone offered them a first round pick for him.
And I don't understand that.
I do.
Well,
Because
explain, because a lot of people don't.
because they can get a prospect with that as well if they really
Right.
want to.
But the
Um,
thing is,
and
don't
a
you want to
team
trade the, yeah, go ahead.
a team like New Jersey is actually looking for a player with term.
Term. Yeah, well, I don't think term's a bad thing because you know what you're getting, right? You know that you're going to have them for
You're
a period of
investing.
time.
You're investing.
Well, that's what you're doing because I'm not sure. I think his cap hits a little over 4 million if I'm not mistaken.
5.5.
So 5 even higher than that. So wow, okay, yeah, that's a big enough investment on a guy that hasn't really panned out too well for Montreal. So
Depending on the system he plays in, it depends how he shows up.
Well,
my biggest issue with him is he's very typical. Like he'll score in buckets and then disappear. He'll score in buckets and then disappear. Your Max Pacioretty's, your James Van Riemsdyk's, they're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same. Power forwards are all the same. They go hot, they go cold.
Anybody else that you think that? I mean, I think Edmondson is going to move like soon. I think
Edmondson. We gotta hope his back is holding up to make that move.
Well, defense is a big thing right now. Defense seems to win the championship.
Well,
now.
a lot of teams like him too because he's robust, and they saw what he did in that playoff run with the Habs.
What's your take on Puljujärvi coming back to Montreal for Edmondson? Do you think that would be something that you'd be interested to see, or some kind of deal around those two players? Because there's been a lot of chatter with what I've read that those two guys are linked together pretty strongly.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, if they can turn him around and he starts scoring like the 4th overall pick he was supposed to be,
right,
then all the power. He's also reaching that age that he is what he is.
Well, that's it, right? I mean, he hasn't improved, and he's had dismal numbers in Edmonton for at least 3 to 4 seasons.
Now, if we could pull a pick with him, then I'm all for it.
Well, they'd have to. They'd have to make a deal where they're giving $3 million back to Montreal, but it's only a 1-year deal. That's the other thing a lot of people don't get. It's like, no, he's at the end of his deal. He's seeking money, so
he's an RFA,
and he's not playing well.
He has to impress his new team in those 15 games,
which probably won't happen, in my opinion. So
he'll probably get another 1 year. Is what it's going to happen.
So Montreal, will want something back, but I don't think they have to highball him at all. I think they can lowball this guy pretty good and just say, well, we'll give up a 5th round choice and maybe a B prospect and get him, try him. Well, he doesn't work. Well, whatever.
He uses an agent. He knows how to manipulate that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yeah. Do you think Montreal's going to grab a goalie at the deadline, or do you think they're just going to stand pat?
I still keep hearing that Allen to Toronto. I keep hearing it.
Well, as a Leafs fan, what's his cap hit right now?
He's only like 3.2 for another year.
And he's got term?
He's got 1 year, 1 extra year.
Okay. So with Murray's injury again, now he's back out again. Now we don't know how long he's out for. Let's not go into that. Anyway, the thing about it's okay. It's I've been laughing the whole time, but not really. But anyway, thing is
Pietro his idol. Does he have a poster of him on his wall?
I don't know. All I know is he's injured again and
in a body cast.
I mean, yeah. Samsonov's been playing amazing, but here's the deal: is that do you? Well, they just hurt. Just do you want to put a guy, 25-year-old, basically on the spotlight, saying you're the guy, which he is, and then say, well, Joseph Woll is your backup, because that's what it is. It's not going to be Shelgren this time; it'll be Woll because he's having an amazing season with the Marlies. So a guy like Jake Allen, if he can. I don't know if he could even make a difference, or I don't know what his game style is. Like,
if you have a tandem, He's a
He'd be a
wonderful piece.
tandem.
He's a
He's a
wonderful piece.
tandem.
He can't go the distance. He can't
No.
play 50, 60 games, but if he's a tandem, he can be very effective.
Yeah, 3.5 million. He's definitely not a 50 game guy. He's 30 tops at the most.
But if you,
You
like I
know?
said, if he's playing 40, 41, and 41, then you have a great goalie.
Toronto would have to flip Murray somehow in order to make a deal with Allen work. They can't afford 3 goaltenders right now anyway. I mean, Allen could offer them that veteran stability, which is what Murray was supposed to be, but we don't know. Time will tell, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I did hear that Allen was linked to the Maple Leafs somewhat. So
I've heard it more than once, and I hear it heating up again. But
I could see the Edmonton Oilers looking at him too, even though I know they have Campbell, but they could go out and get a guy like Allen to reinforce Campbell, because Stewart's fine. Stuart Skinner's fine, but I don't know. He hasn't played enough, you know?
He's young.
Yeah, and they're trying to make a push to get in there, right? They're in now, but
You
they're
should not be trying to make a push when you have a 90-point player.
Oh, I understand that. That's a whole other discussion we could do another day on our regular show. This is about the Habs. So
I know.
I just think, but it's just
it hurts.
It's crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll see what the Oilers do. But again, but the Habs, okay, well, clearly they're going to be moving assets. There's no doubt about it. And he's going to be moving out.
I have heard that there is zero interest in Dadonov, which doesn't surprise me at all.
He's always hurt. He's always injured.
Well, he's not doing anything either.
And he doesn't help. No, he doesn't offer any. When he was in Florida, at least he looked useful, but now he doesn't do anything.
I find him to be very unlucky, though. Like, I see him pull these amazing moves, and I'm like, it's Dadonov. He's not going to hit the net anyway. And then he falls on his face like he's Adam Sandler in Happy Gilmore. I don't get it.
It's like Zach Hyman when he was at Toronto.
He does
good
all
old Lafarge.
It's like his only weakness is he sees the net and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, it sucks. When Hyman was playing a little bit, sometimes he just couldn't finish. Right, that was his thing back then. He's doing quite well this year, but he is also with the 2 best players on the planet, or one of the one and the other one. Right, so.
He has a very fast release, and when you're getting the puck perfectly every time, it's much different.
We'll have to see what happens with those guys. But yeah, Dadonov, I don't see too many teams looking at him. Josh Anderson's your primary target. Sean Monahan will be probably cap relief.
I believe Sean Monahan is our best trade chip right now.
Allen, he's going to go.
He needs to be healthy. That's the other thing. And Anderson, Dreggers has been saying that he's likely not to move. And I could see that. I could see him more of a draft day trade because he has term. It's easier to do term in the off season.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. We have to remember the trade deadline will fetch you guys a lot of assets in return now because teams are going to overpay. But then it's a matter of what are they going to do in the off season, which is a whole thing we're about to jump into in a few minutes. I think it'll be interesting to see what the Habs will try to pull off, but they will sell.
They're going to sell anything they can right now. And
absolutely,
guys, like I was saying with call-ups, guys like Ylonen, this was a tryout for him, and it could be that, okay, if they don't like him, that he might be a package deal with somebody, because he's reaching that 23, 24-year age where it's do or die, right? NHLers have an expiry date. If you don't make it by a certain date, you're AHL for life.
Yep. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. You're not going to move very far, so...
And like, there's one kid I want them to call up. His name is Joel Teasdale. He had a horrible start to the season. He had 2 points in 11 games to start the year. It just wasn't working. He was a healthy scratch constantly. And then guys started to get called up left, right, and center. And he finally got more usage, more utilage. In his last 18 games, he has 20 points, 13 goals.
Yeah, the guy's got skills, clearly.
So I'd love to see him get a shot. The poor guy, he looked like he was going to be a Hab very early when I first saw him play. He was playing on a PTO and got a contract at 19, but the poor guy blew out his knee. He's blown out his knee 3 times, the same knee, and the first time he blew it out, he actually tore every ligament in the knee.
God, what was he doing? Did he get hit, or did he turn wrong, or
he was just training
accident?
He was training on his own on the ice.
Ugh. Oh my God.
And then it just didn't work out. So I was really, it sucked because, when you get to 23 and you're getting knee injury after knee injury, you're not going to have much chance left, really. So this year he's starting to pick up, and I'm like, this is good because I like this kid. I'd like to see him excel. He's a 6'1" and he could play center, left, or right wing. He could play all three.
Oh, good. There you go. So you got some size. That's good. That's what you want. Want size,
So
grit, toughness. Yeah.
I'd love to see him get a shot, and which I believe he will, because as I said, once guys start moving, I think there's going to be a lot of tryouts.
Oh, you're going to be, like I said in another episode before, you'll be watching. You're going to see players going in and out of that lineup nonstop for the next 2 years, because they're going to be trying everybody out, especially if they draft, say. And here's the thing: if they say they draft 14 more players, so let's say they use all their draft picks, they don't trade any. The thing with Montreal is going to have to get used to is the fact that you will be moving players.
It's going to be like a hotel for a while.
Well,
guys be in and out of that team.
Leafs were the same. We had players falling out the doors. They couldn't keep enough of them, and they were starting to package them. Like, for instance, like Kulak and all those guys. Like, whenever they moved Plekanec to Toronto, they ended up using a couple of those players in that, what I'm talking about, to Montreal, because we just didn't have the room for them. They weren't going to crack the lineup. They weren't going to crack the AHL. They just had too many.
Yep.
Right? So, anyway. It'll be interesting to see, but lots of trade deadline stuff to come. We will probably do a show, just so everyone knows. We'll probably be doing a show for trade deadline much closer to the deadline itself, which is March 3rd this year.
The other thing I was going to point out, too, is with all these players, you're forgetting, too, there's guys left over from the Bergevin era that they're going to see, do we like them, do we not? So they're currently in a blender of their guys and new and old guys.
Yeah, it's called the transition team, right? They're transitioning, right?
So
from Bergevin's to now.
So the Bergevin guys are trying to be like, okay, this is my shot. I got to take it. And if they don't make it, well, you're out the door, because you're not from my era.
Nope, they won't trust you, and they'll just move you along. They'll find them a home, but they'll move them along.
Yeah.
So I think we'll switch over now to the next segment, the Habs wish list, the wants and needs. Now, tell us about what their wants and what are their wants.
Goalie.
Start with that. Let's start with the obvious one. Tayfun, what do the Habs need?
Need, want, don't have.
Goaltending. Lots of goaltending.
The guy with the mask on with the gloves.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Now, trade or unrestricted free agency. Now, the goalie market's not super great right now, but
I have heard there's a lot of interest in Tristan Jarry, and he's a UFA at the end of the season.
Is he?
Yes.
Really? I didn't think that would be. I thought they'd pick him up. I thought Pittsburgh would re-sign him.
He's not signed yet.
Oh boy.
And
okay.
He's in that prime age right now, 27.
Right.
So it'd be perfect for a goalie like him to start leading this team into when they're going to be good.
Okay, well, that's an idea. Yeah, absolutely, because you need that starter that's your primary guy. So okay, so goaltending, obviously. Now, would you go out and get two, or would you go out and just get the one? If Allen, obviously, if Allen stays, you'd say just the one, but
I would want the one to start and maybe see where it goes from there. Because, like I said, I've heard names of, like I've heard some young goalies that they're interested in, right? So you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket.
No.
So if there's a chance you can get a guy like Devin Levi, why not?
I don't know much about Devin Levi, but
he's a DDO kid, Dolal des Ormeaux. So he's a Montreal kid. He actually played for the Carleton Place Canadiens and took them to the finals of the RBC Cup back then. And then he went to he's playing in college at Northeastern now, I believe.
Right on. Basically a Dorval kid, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he was originally a Florida pick, but because they had so many goalies, they moved him to Buffalo. And again, he's another one who's not sure if he wants to play for Buffalo.
Right.
Because nobody wants to live in Buffalo.
Well, lots of interesting stuff going on in Buffalo. But...
Even Patrick Kane doesn't want to move to Buffalo, and he's from Buffalo.
Well, that explains everything. When the superstar has no desire to go home, that's pretty telling, if you ask me. But Montreal, do you see anything on the obviously, let's say now we're pushed into the off season. So let's say
another
and say off unrestricted free agency day.
I would say another would be a right-hand defenseman. We don't have many. No. Definitely a right-hand. We got too many lefties. We need some righties.
No, they're hard to find, right? They're not as easy to find as left, but thing is that a lot of teams don't give them up, right? So that's okay. Like from my perspective, being on the outside, what is the direction that he wants to take the Habs? Like, what does he envision with what you've seen for a team? Like, what do you think? Is it going to be a heavy team, a checking team, a tough team, a finesse small team? Like, what what's Kent Hughes's, with what you're seeing as a fan? What do you think he's like? How is he configuring this place?
From what I'm seeing, it's for definitely a speed game, very
Right,
fast team,
which is what the NHL's built like right
and
now. Okay,
it looks like on the back end they want to be heavy to protect smaller forwards
yeah, that's
because
what Boston has.
because you have guys like Arbor Xhekaj, you got
Mm,
guys like Joel Edmondson, and you
yeah.
got guys like David Savard, which are all heavy defensemen.
That Aberjack guy, what's he about? I know that you had lots of high chatter about him there at the
I
beginning of the year.
love that kid.
Well, he is a fan favorite. There's no doubt. Everyone loves the
Even
guy.
not
Clearly,
Habs fans loves this guy.
well, the guy's gonna be a Hab for the rest of his life because
The
he's just
Costco
it's.
kid, man.
Oh, I don't know anything about him. All I
Yeah,
know is that he was Wi-Fi. That was his nickname. That's
he
about as
was.
much as I know.
There was a little documentary they put on Sportsnet. You can watch it on YouTube actually, about him, and he worked at Costco when he was younger to pay for his OHL hockey, and
Okay.
he got fired because they thought that he wasn't serious enough about his Costco career.
Yeah.
Shucks.
Oh darn! I'm playing for the Habs, but no. I'm not going to knock Costco. They have a pretty good.
No,
A lot of people work there, and
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that place. But
it's
yes,
awesome, but
yeah,
it's funny
smart
to hear
kid.
that. It's very funny to hear that he worked very hard to get to where he was,
Yeah.
and when we signed him, I don't even thank Mark Bergevin for that. I actually thank Ben Sherratt because Ben Sherratt was the one who trained with him in Hamilton and went back to the Habs organization and said, "Sign this kid."
Well, they've got him, and like I said, he's a tough guy, and he's definitely giving the Montreal defense another look, another dimension. So that's good.
And he will when he throws down with heavy weight and
Oh my!
walks away.
Cinder blocks for hands. Yeah.
He's actually leading all defensemen, rookie defensemen in goals, and
Wow.
he's
Okay.
second in rookie defenseman points
Well, there you go. So now was he top 4 or bottom
and first in
3?
penalty minutes.
What's that?
And first in penalty minutes.
You don't say.
I think he's had 17 fights.
Guy likes to throw down.
Just a couple. But
Yeah.
I think it's because he did the Transformers, like laid out the challenge there. He's like, at the beginning of the season, if anyone wants to throw down, I'm not afraid to fight back. So
Yeah.
now every heavyweight's coming in swinging cinder blocks. So
Yeah, let's go after them and watch the bombs hit each other.
he showed
did you-
disrespect, so let's fight him.
Yeah. Just on a side note, did you see Wayne Simmons fight last night
Oh my gosh, AJ
against
Greer
AJ Greer? Did you see that? I watched the game, obviously, but did you see the part when Simmons laid the first haymaker right to his face?
He was
The
like,
guy
this
was
the whole
like,
time.
well, not only, no, I thought he was split second knocked out. I think he was a little,
Well, yeah, he was
little
hiding his
dazed.
face with his eyes closed, going,
Yeah.
that hurt.
Well, yeah, because it's Wayne Simmons, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to make that side.
Yeah.
Because what happened was they got this really good camera view of the whole fight. It wasn't like that one where they're way up on the top and you see.
No,
No, it was like it was
like
right
eye level.
along. Oh, it was crazy. I'm like, oh, especially when he got him like, well, here, like this way here. He got him so hard. Did you just see the
And
like? He was probably
hiding his face. He was hiding his face.
He was probably seeing stars, guaranteed.
And like I felt like Naked Gun there with Leslie Nielsen going, all right, he's had enough.
Yeah, well, at that point he did because he went and he just scored a goal just 5 seconds before that. So here he is cheering, and then he had to go to the protocol room because they thought he had a concussion. That's how hard he hit him. He was okay. He ended up coming back, but anyway, I just wanted to break a quick side note of that. I just because of fighting and Xhekaj and all that.
Well, my favorite was back when Xhekaj fought Kazian.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
he demolished Kazian, but Kazian was the one who was like, "Hey kid, let's fight next shift." He's like, "All right." And after the fight, it was like Kazian got demoed. Like he did the spin down. And
I think I remember that one. I remember the video.
Apparently, they asked they asked Xhekaj what he said after. He's a good fight.
Oh.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't eat for a few days. My mouth's too sore. Oh my God. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, so clearly toughness isn't much of a need or want right now for Montreal. They got their toughness.
We got our policeman on the back there.
Okay. What about just quickly before we move to the next one? What about like speed guys, skill guys? Like, you think there's going to be a number of teams? Like, let's be honest, you got the Vancouver Canucks. You've got who else? You got the Canucks. You've got
Arizona,
Arizona. I even think Minnesota a little bit.
Yeah,
There's going to be
the never-ending rebuild is Arizona.
Never-ending rebuild. Yeah, you've got. There's a number of teams out there. What I'm getting at is that
New
we'll
Jersey.
have Jersey. Yeah, they'll continue to build, but
they still have some great players that haven't even been there on the roster yet.
Yeah, but they're going to keep building, right? So, but what I'm thinking is teams that have players available that Montreal could go after and try to sign or whatever.
They keep talking about Jeff Gordon doing the Panarin for Montreal.
Panarin,
no,
really?
not him, but like how he brought Panarin,
okay.
How he brought Panarin to New York.
Right.
They all keep saying, Can Gordon do that for Montreal with the next big thing that's available?
Well, Gordon's gonna do it. I mean,
if there's anyone who could do it, it's an agent and Jeff Gordon.
It's a matter of, again, it's what Montreal needs. Like, they have their centerman, they could use another centerman, I think.
Actually, speaking of centerman too, Brian Wild made a very, very bold statement, but I kind of agree. He said that he believes that Montreal is still going to look for an elite centerman. He thinks that once they get another centerman, he thinks Kirby Dach is actually a better centerman than Suzuki. And if they find another centerman, Suzuki will be playing top line right wing.
A winger.
Yes.
So they'll do with Nylander and throw him on the wing. Okay.
So they think that
Draisaitl.
If they can find another centerman, that Suzuki will be a winger, because Kirby Dach is actually looking like a very good centerman. I still don't understand why the Hawks gave up on this guy.
Don't think the NHL could understand a team like that giving up on a player like that. It doesn't make any sense.
21 years old.
Well, there's something off about that. Let's be honest. There was something bizarre about that one. But
and then they draft, what did that little tiny 5'7" centerman there, Frank Nazar?
Yeah, Nazar. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen with that guy, but anyway, you got Dach. Keep him and then maybe flip him later. Oh, he was a wonderful pickup. I was shocked when we have the video of that reaction from Tayfun whenever the deal has it. It's our best video, by the way.
I'm sorry.
We're still getting views from that video. I still love it.
From what Bergevin told me years ago, you can't get centermen. So I was shocked when we got one on first try.
And only cost her what? Romanov, or was it, or Romanov?
Yeah, it cost Romanov.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, bye, Romanov. We have 64 other left-hand defensemen.
Well, that's fair. You got to make deals for things you need, right? So
yes.
Second last, this is an interesting one. Now, you wrote this. It's called Retroverse Curse Coach Situation. So, can you explain to the fans what this means? I mean, they probably know, but as a non-Hab fan, I'd like to know what this means.
So, the Retro Reverse jersey they're saying is cursed, because every time the Habs have worn it, they can't win. In 2 years of these Retro Reverse jerseys, they're 0-9 now.
Right.
Because they lost last night again. So, like, the fans are like, get rid of it. We don't want... I don't care, personally. It's just a shirt. I don't blame the shirt for losing.
It's a shirt. You've been bad. Your team is not great right now. And it's not going to change a thing.
And then they throw in these, it should be this reverse retro. I'm like, does it really matter what they're wearing to lose in, guys? They're doing their jobs.
It's like someone's saying that they'll move over to this side of the couch and they'll win. No, it doesn't work that way. It's fun to look.
How dare you?
It's fun. It's fun to talk about it, but it doesn't make a difference. But anyway, I laugh every time. But I'm like, yeah. So, okay. So the retro reverse curse. Yeah. So what's this deal with coach situation? What's this about?
I kind of find it funny because I keep hearing from people, especially the older Habs groups, they think that Martin St. Louis is a really bad coach.
And why do they feel that way?
He knows strategy. He doesn't know how to coach. He's just letting them play.
Okay. Well,
personally,
I think he is. I think he is letting them play, but
personally, I think he's a very good coach, though, because he's getting the best out of guys who never produced like that before.
Now, what about his assistants? Who does he have for assistants right now?
He has Trevor Letowski.
Okay. I don't know who these guys are, but okay.
Look, Trevor Letowski played in the NHL for years on Dallas and Vancouver.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, I
Um,
remember the name, but
we
wasn't a
have
player I remember much of.
we have Mr. Robita Island on our blue line,
Oh, look at that! You got really okay,
and
right
we
on.
have Alex Burrows for the power play.
Okay, so you basically have three former NHL player, well, four
Well,
NHL
we
players,
have
all as coaches.
and here's the thing: those four coaches are an example to the players. All four of them are never drafted or late seventh round draft picks.
Even St. Louis,
Yeah, he was never drafted.
never drafted. And that was a great talent, man.
Yeah, and so they try and lead by example as coaches, where it doesn't matter where you went; it depends on how hard you work.
Right. Okay. The thing too is that, as we've talked about, you and I have talked about Montreal, they have a time where they can be not this great. Like they have a grace period right now.
That's just it. I'm trying to tell these
They
guys to
do.
chill. This is not the team we have that he's trying to coach. They're
No.
weeding players out right now. When he has a true roster on the ice, then I'll throw my judgment on him.
Well,
But
that's what's going to happen.
until then, I have zero judgment because he's working with whatever they give him.
Oh, the other thing too is that a guy like Barry Trotz or a guy like or Bruce Boudreau or any of these other coaches, these high profile coaches, it's hard to unless they love doing the rebuild thing, it's hard for them to get wanting to get onto it, right?
Most of those guys
And
come in after the rebuild is done and
well,
just
that's they would let him go, and then they would bring a guy like Boudreau or Trotz to put him over the top, right? So,
but again, who knows? St. Louis might be able to do it. It just depends on who you give him to put on the ice.
well, it's very possible. I think it's a great training ground for him to learn to be a coach, and I still think Montreal is going to bring in another profile coach in to help him
I
to give
guarantee it.
him
He'll get
more perspective.
he'll get a veteran associate coach or something.
Absolutely, because I think he's probably doing fine because of where the team is, but put him in a playoff situation or put him in not a playoff situation because he was in the playoffs for many years, but that pressure Montreal has when they're in the playoffs, like that's a lot of pressure to take. And
You're gonna need that bad cop with you as well once in a
well,
while.
you need a coach that can handle that kind of stuff because let's be honest, both like the Montreal fan base and Toronto fan base, they have high expectations for their teams, very very high, and especially if it's a playoff team, you want to move forward. So, I mean, we'll see if he'll get there. You have a little ways to go before that's even a talk,
It's like we're
but
3 to 4 years away. I'm not
I'd
even
say
concerned.
three. I'd say three, barring some kind of major, uh,
It might
major shift.
it might even be less depending on how fast they want to move it. With the amount of prospects we have, not all of them are going to get to play.
Well, they're also going to sign stars, right? That's the other thing. It's not
You
just
have to. You
you
have to
have to.
bring in
It's
them
a
in,
mixture. It's a mix of draft and
and
UFA
you need a
and
mix
stuff
of
like
that
that.
age group too. You need those old guys. You need those middle guys. You need those young guys.
Well, the young guys can't. The young guys need to learn how to win. So you bring in some veteran guys later that are at a lower cost that can help you win.
Mhm.
And then when they're Montreal's where they let's say they're in the top eight, well then some of those guys you move along and then you bring younger guys back and
Mhm.
it's just a constant dance of players. That's what I've seen with my team.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Montreal will do the same. So,
I can
but
see us even signing like a veteran's former star as like a third or fourth line centerman too, just to help on the.
oh yeah, Montreal, like I said before, you're gonna be seeing you're gonna see players coming and going all the time in Montreal
It's
for
going
a
to be a
while.
revolving door.
100% because they got to figure out what kind of team they want to be and all that. But with the
Identity.
coach, I think he's a perfect coach for Montreal right now because of where they are and what they're trying to do.
I have, like as I said, I have no problems with what he's doing. I don't expect this team to win games, and you know what? We're losing by one goal all the time.
That's
It's
a
not.
sign of a team that's not good enough.
No, it's not.
I've
And
seen it many times.
if your coach is able to do that with your guys that aren't good enough, wait till they're good enough.
You just don't have enough scoring. That's the
Well,
problem. You don't
that's what I
score
mean.
enough.
Well,
Yeah, you have any
when
offense.
when Cole Caulfield's out for season, it doesn't help.
Oh, that's got to hurt, man. That was
That
shoulder, eh?
he apparently separated his shoulder back against Dallas, and he
Uh,
popped it in himself. And he
uh,
was fine. There was no problem.
yeah.
And then against Ottawa a couple weeks ago, it popped out again, and he was in an agony. So
Oh, you
they cut
probably
they shut him down.
damaged it.
Well, he needs surgery. He's out 6 months.
Oh yeah, it's probably the joint is probably not 100%. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I know separated shoulders, depending on the degree of the separation, how bad it is. I know Matthews had a couple of them in his shoulders, and
You have the
he had minor.
You have to take the
Yeah.
torn labrum surgery sometimes.
He didn't need surgery, but he had time to heal. But I know that this guy with Caulfield, it's going to be.
Anderson had it done, and apparently Caulfield is going to see the same doctor that fixed Anderson. He's like he's like the best surgeon for that surgery.
It's what he does, right?
Yeah, just like Pacioretty with his Achilles, he's going to Finland to.
Oh man, that sucks. Ooh,
I don't like the guy. But you know what?
What?
I feel so bad for him.
Your bestie. What are you talking about? You love this guy.
But I don't wish that on my worst enemy, and I
No.
hate him. But I feel so bad for him.
Tell me how you really feel. Don't hold back.
I can't. This is public.
I know. No, Pacioretty is definitely not on your favorite list.
He went to Finland to see the top Achilles surgeon.
Oh, it sounds crazy, man.
He's 34. Wow. How much longer does he expect to be on the ice? I don't see him coming back from that.
Probably. My guess, LTIR. The doctor will tell him, look, man, like you can't.
Not even
play.
that. This was a contract year.
And is it a total snap? Like did the Achilles completely snap?
It ripped again. It ripped again.
So the surgery didn't take. Or he just damaged it.
Well, he was training on it, so it must have taken, but it shouldn't tear again after 5 games.
Well, like I said, he just got the bad luck, unfortunately.
It hurts just thinking about it because I did it. I know what it's
I
like.
know.
He's done it twice.
Never done it. Hopefully I never see it.
You don't want to. It's horrible.
Sounds horrible. So the final segment for this episode, it's Tayfun's final thoughts. Now I'm gonna let you have the floor, and what I'm basically gonna say is you tell me what you basically like the State of the Union, like I say with the Leafs the Leafs timeout I do. What do you feel? Like where do you feel your team is right now? Where do you feel it's gonna go? Do you like what you're seeing? Do you dislike what you're seeing? Like basically the floor is yours. You could say whatever you like for this final segment.
Looking at the team, I really like the young players we have. I'm very disappointed in a lot of the veterans as they aren't showing anything. And those are the guys who are sitting there going, I don't want to be here. I want to get traded. Well, do something so we could trade you. Like Jonathan Drouin, he's the most frustrating guy to watch on the ice.
You think?
Yoel Armia, another one. He's full of raw talent, but he just doesn't want to show up. He only shows up when he wants to. Dadonov needs to start showing. It's disappointing to see all the young guys busting their asses, so to speak, and all they're getting is you're not going to win if your veterans aren't scoring too. Lately I have seen a lot more effort, like the game against Ottawa the other night and the game before that, Hoffman. I haven't seen him rip shots like that in a long time, and he did bury one in the second game. It was a beautiful power play goal. But that effort has to be there every game. It can't just be there because some guys are missing.
All right.
We have a lot of really bad contracts, which is going to hurt long term.
You think some of them can go? You think you'll be able to move some?
I think he can, but I have a feeling we're going to have to give something with it.
Yeah, which is counterproductive to a rebuild.
Yes, which is why I feel like they're like sitting pat until they can find a way just to get rid of it. I don't think they want to give away young players right now, especially in a team that's supposed to be rebuilding. It's a very tough situation to come into when you're coming into something that was created by the guy before you, and you don't have much wiggle room, and you have to try and create it.
And that's a tough position to be in because he's had a blank slate basically to do what he wants. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with it.
It doesn't help either when you're trying to sell players. And your 23-man roster, 10 guys are on the LTIR or just the IR.
That's another problem. Injuries are just destroying your team.
Price is never playing again. Byron is never playing again, but he's off the books after this year. That's $3.1 million gone.
Can we talk about Price for a split second before you continue? So you're saying he's done. Now, I know he had a conference recently and he was saying something about he's moving back to BC with his family. Like, is he truly done? Like, can this guy... He cannot come back.
I don't think he's ever playing again. His wife was actually on Instagram answering questions, and they said they're selling their home in Montreal and they're moving back to Kelowna.
Right. I know that part, but I'm just saying, like, I know he said something on one conference. He said that he can't even go upstairs.
Hey, he can't carry his kids upstairs. It hurts.
But what did he do to his knee? I mean, like I said,
Uh,
I know he had a knee injury. I just don't know what damage did he do to his knee.
from what I understand, he has a hole in his kneecap, and fluid passes through it constantly, which causes it to swell. He needs a full knee replacement, but he doesn't want to do that because it'll prevent him from being able to play with his children.
He's too young.
That's just it. He's trying to find all other ulterior motives, like ulterior motives.
Alternate mode. Yeah. All right.
But it's just there's nothing right now. Everything that they've tried keeps getting rejected.
Well, he's kind of in a bad spot, right?
He went to a doctor in New York and they tried some injections that were supposed to help. It helps a enzyme to make the bone grow back or something, and
Right.
his body rejected it.
Maybe he's come to the point where it's like, I'm rich, I have a beautiful family, I still have relatively all my health, so, and I'm going to be paid till the end of my deal anyways. So
I'm paid on insurance. It doesn't hurt.
Insurance looks after, and all my money just sits on LTIR anyway, and Montreal can spend it anyway.
I just find it funny with some fans who are like, "This is an outrage. You're supposed to stay in Montreal. What for, guys? What for?"
Well, why would he? Why would he stay if he can't play?
That's just it. He can never play again. Why does he have to be in Montreal just for him to go, hi, once in a while? Who cares?
Do whatever he wants.
Let him
honestly, he'll go home. Well, he'll go home. He'll be a Hab forever. He'll have a statue.
They'll retire him and everything.
Yeah, they'll do everything for him.
But there's no need for him to just show up once in a while just to wave to everybody and leave. It's a waste of time.
Is there anything else though you think? Like, is there, like, so you said all that. Is there anything other final thought you for now? Like, we'll talk about the episodes in a minute, but
I'd like to see a star finally sign in Montreal. That's what I really want to see.
Last time was Kovalev, right? Was it Kovalev or was it?
No, but we got him by trade. The last time we signed anybody, I'd say
signed Kovalev.
No, they got him via trade, then they extended him.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I'd say the biggest free agent we signed in years was Mike Camilleri.
Camilleri and their other Russian fellow there.
And Giante, I think.
No, the Dallas guy, Radulov.
Oh yes. Radulov was big.
Signed Radulov. He was big.
He used Montreal as a tool to get paid. They all do.
But they all do. Let's be honest.
A lot of guys have used Montreal as leverage, especially French guys, to get their contracts. Just check Daniel Briere. He was like, I'm going to Montreal. Oh, Philly offered me 6. I'm out.
Either way, if that's the case, but that they all do that. They all use teams to move their careers. And okay, well, so you're basically thinking that Montreal, you're just saying the team is underperforming on the veteran side.
Yes.
And Price isn't coming back. And where do you see this team finishing in the standings?
I see us as a potential top 6 to 10, I think.
Not the top 5?
I don't think so.
No? You think you're going to be a little better than that?
Looking at the other teams, I think we are. When you look at San Jose and Arizona, things like that, we're much better than those guys.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? Sometimes when your team is just a little better than you think, all of a sudden then you can you're still too good to get past the bottom 5, you know.
Well, look at Seattle. I didn't expect them to be that good.
Well, this is the deal with Seattle. Just to put this just before we go, Seattle's a kind of one of those enigma teams because you just don't really know what they are. Like, I heard the pundits, especially on Sportsnet, they asked a question like, "Will Seattle make the playoffs?" And 2 of the 3 said no. And I'm like, why would you say no? What is it that's not like they're winning games? Are they real or are they not? Like, I don't know.
They did it very well too because they did it patiently. They waited a year.
Yeah, I like their build better than
because they actually went out and kept some of their players. They didn't just trade them all away.
No, and look where they are. We'll do it actually just to put it in. I think what we'll do in an episode is soon enough is we're going to take one guy is going to take Vegas, the other guy is going to take Seattle. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare the 2 teams in an episode about where the status of the 2 teams are, and because both clubs are essentially in the similar spot, they're both in the top 10 or top 5.
Didn't LA just leapfrog them for first with a win the other night?
I think so, but you know what I mean. And it's neat to see that Seattle's doing that.
They're all top 3. LA is a top 3 team.
Yeah, that Doesn't make any sense, but okay.
And actually, I forgot to mention this earlier. What's
What's
actually
that?
funny about Raphael Harvey Pinard was we
Hmm.
drafted him at age 19. At age 18, he was at a rookie camp with a certain Nick Suzuki for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh,
Guess,
really?
guess who has both those players today?
Montreal. Well, I have to say this was it's interesting to see. Well, we'll obviously do more episodes. So what I was going to say is that for the next number of episodes for Canadiens Corners, I'll join you and we'll talk more about if especially near the trade deadline. I think we'll do a trade deadline Montreal Canadiens Corner. There's not much to say too much now, but with the
It's
All-Star
going to
break
heat
and
up
all that.
big time, especially when guys
In
start getting healthy.
in a few weeks we'll definitely bring another episode on, but this is what we're going to do for the segment. We're going to do one of these and he'll be able to bring in his insight on what he thinks of the Habs. So I want to say thanks very much, man. This was good. It was interesting to hear what they're doing, what they're up to, and my microphone still works. Everything's cool. So
And thank you for joining me and listening.
oh yeah, no, it's interesting to hear other teams, and you know what I mean. As much as we're bitter rivals in terms of fan bases, it's still honestly when Toronto and Montreal meet, it's always a good game. They
We
never
did
have a
beat you the
bad.
other day.
Yeah, I know you beat us the other day. You don't have to. Toronto just didn't care.
I have to though.
I know you have to because that's all you've got this year,
Well, it's
man.
because I have to make fun of that Tanner James guy. He's got foot and mouth disease.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, I know. But like the Laval Rocket did beat the Maple Leafs, and you know what?
He
Like,
was like talking about the scrubs coming up and the Laval Rocket playing the true NHL team of the Leafs. And guess what? All three of those scrubs scored that night.
well, like I said, they didn't. They haven't beaten Arizona. They haven't beaten Montreal. They can't beat the Senators. But you know what? We'll give Boston a push right to the edge every
Or
time, and
eBay.
Tampa, or we destroy Washington. You know, I don't get it. But anyway, that's another episode for another day. But
Teams
uh,
under 500 are only weakness.
we don't care. Is more the point.
You can't be like
We don't want to get injured, so we don't play. You know, or whatever. I don't think so. I think they just no one can figure it out. But anyway,
they don't prepare properly for it. Montreal used to do the same thing. They'd go into like when Buffalo was atrocious and get wrecked, and you're like sitting there, Buffalo just lost 12 in a row. What just happened?
how did that happen? Well, it happened this year. Hot start, and then that's the end of that. And they're done. And that's it. Season's
And
over.
count.
And we're back at the bottom again. Thanks, Tage Thompson, but we don't care.
Oh, it was funny. Someone made a tweet about the Habs saying, friendly reminder, Slavkovsky will be very good in a few years. And then this guy wrote on the bottom, keep dreaming, blah, 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 blah. So I wrote underneath, friendly reminder, Tage Thompson looked atrocious in the Buffalo trade until he was 23. Just saying.
He is one tall man. Holy moly, the big guy.
6'6", man.
He
6'7"
is
on
huge.
skates.
It's huge for centerman.
The way he moves with the puck too, like
I know. I've watched him. He's crazy.
he
Good.
shouldn't be that fast.
I know. Absolutely. It's crazy some of these guys how they do it, but yeah. So I think we'll end it here. I think we'll stop the video again. Thanks very much for your insight and your thoughts. I'm looking forward to the next show.
For sure.
We plan to do another episode soon enough. Our regular stuff, of course.
Yes.
We'll obviously keep an eye on. We'll try to keep it a little more constant videos as we do it. But anyway, I think we'll go. And thanks very much for watching, everyone. Thanks, Tayfun, of course.
Have a good night, everybody.
And have a good night. And if you like what we're doing with our content, please hit like or subscribe. If you want to know more about what we're doing, please hit the notification bell on the right. And with that, thanks very much. And we will see you next time.
Later.
Later.